So today we're gonna talk about the Boron Letters by Gary Halbert, and it is a book apparently, let's clarify that, apparently about copywriting, but I am actually not quite sure if it really is, because the first few points of this book are kind of general knowledge or something, not knowledge but advice, let's put it like that. But I've often seen this book on the netaliation.com site. The link is down in the description to the article per se, as always, but I've always skipped it. I've always skipped this book because I thought, well, I'm not that interested in copywriting. I'm not a copywriter, so I'm probably never going to need it. But I think I might actually need it. I might actually need it. This information, this piece of knowledge, this whatever you want to call it. And so therefore, we are also going to go through it. It is rated 9 out of 10, and yeah. Likely the only copyright book you'll ever need, fantastic and extremely readable. Summary notes. Write down your goals and go over them every day, not just once a year. Rely on your own strength, not someone else's compassion. A support system is like a garden, and you always need to be on the lookout for weeds to pull. The money is where the enthusiasm is. Please remember this. Remember it also when in the future you need to hire someone. Always look for the most enthusiastic person, not necessarily the most qualified. Yes, because of course, somebody can be very, very qualified, but if they aren't enthusiastic or willing to work, then you can't do anything with them. And it is, I think it just makes sense. I think it really does, but sometimes I believe that we are setting up some quote-unquote rules and or thoughts or whatever you want to call them that do kind of get us into a place where we make decisions that are not optimal, just because of reasons. Well, society does play a big role there, because of course it is influencing us, and so on and so on and so on. Like there's many, many reasons why we actually not doing something we know is the best, and we do something instead that is not the best option. The best list of prospects is always people who have bought from you before. Therefore, truth, my good son, can be determined not by how people use their mouths, but rather how they use their wallets. Yeah, of course, if they say like, wow, I really like your products, but they have never ever bought something, then, let's think about that. Let's think about that once again and decide. It's not about truthfulness there, but yeah. Anyways, after the initial copy dump where I pound out all my thoughts for a sales letter on a keyboard, I rewrite or reread whatever I wrote and apply the so what test. And the lesson is that when you get stuck or emotionally jammed up, one of the ways to get yourself unclogged and flowing again is just to keep moving. So run, walk, jog, write, do the dishes or whatever, but don't sit around waiting for a flash from heaven, because it's not gonna motherfucking come. Make yourself a collection, a swipe file of good ads and good DM pieces and read them and take notes. What makes them amazing? This is my thoughts. What makes them amazing? Why do you like them? Why do you think they are able to do you create sales? I actually don't know, but make sales and whatnot. So something that I often think about as well is I don't have to reinvent the wheel. I'm a designer actually. And when I did some projects in school, and also when I'm doing that just for myself and or for clients or whatnot, I always think about doing something new. I always think about, okay, I'm willing to do something new, just also because I don't always want to do the same fucking shit. I know that some way of putting something is working, but I subconsciously believe that I'm just not doing it. I'm always doing it in a new way at least, or I'm always doing something new. Of course, there's gonna be some objects and or some techniques that I'm using over and over again just because I like them, just because I like the feel of it. But in the end, it is like, I could have a look at my own work and say, okay, this is nice, this is cool, this is great, and then just do it once again. But I feel like that, especially subconsciously, I just don't want to do that. But yeah, because often I then feel like, well, why don't I just do it in the way that I've done it before? Why just don't I do that? Especially when it comes to design, like especially. But I don't know, like then I think again and be like, well, it might just be not interesting enough for my body, for my mind, for my soul, for whatever, to just do it in that way. Or I might just be a dumb ass motherfucker anyway. And while I'm on the subject, it just occurred to me that I should tell you that another additional way to achieve this bond of intimacy and immediacy in your letters is to describe where you are and what you're doing as you are writing the letter. Which I've heard before, like, okay, I'm just sitting here on my couch, in my holidays, on my holidays, whatever, and I'm writing this letter to you because I whatnot. So what are you doing as you're writing this letter, and where are you? One key question every business owner should ask is, how can I make it so ordering is even easier? Which I totally believe is something that Amazon just is the best at. One-click buy. What's better than that? What's better than just having one click and then just getting something and receiving something? Now, if I were to continue writing this letter, I would use words that would make my reader picture with pleasure that beach in his mind. Before I was finished, he would be able to feel the sand in his toes, smell the fresh tang of the salt air, drink in the stars with his eyes, and feel the warm, friendly sun on his back. Marketing grades like my father and other top copywriters usually keep a power word list. Those power words begin to seep into the conversation as well as their copy, but you don't want to just use their lists. So use your own, I guess. AIDA or AIDA or AIDA, which stands for attention, interest, desire, and action, as far as I remember. By formula, I mean you should work within a proven sequential outline like AIDA or AIDA, whatever. What does AIDA stand for? It stands for attention, interest, desire, action. So to make it clearer, your letter should first get his or her attention, so the person's attention, which you could do by, also if you're thinking graphically, with colors using red, contrast as well, like red, black, yellow, black, just some colors that you see very easily so people get attention. Naturally, we must get our reader's attention before he can become interested in and desirous of our offer. Getting attention is crucial. Bag of sand atop of letter. The name, for example. If you know that you're writing to a specific person, then yeah, use the name. If we are reading our name, then it's already grabbing our attention. Hey, Chris, do you wanna... No, just hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. Hey, Tom. Hey, Katerina. Hey, Sylvia. Hey, whatever. Naturally, we must get our reader's attention, blah, 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 blah. Second, get him interested. How do we do this? Well, let's start by feeding him interesting facts, like how much money there is to be made by investing in Maui real estate, or Maui. Anyway, by telling how much sand, cubic tons, is on a beach where we got the sand in that baggie. By telling how this is one of the best beachfront investment opportunities in Maui. By telling how many pretty girls there are around. By telling the specific kinds of fish you can catch right off the beach, etc. Another simple way to get a reader interested is to tell their story by telling your story with the problem your solution solves. Third, make him desire what you're selling. What we do to create desire is we describe the benefits our prospect gets if he buys our product or service. Well, you're gonna look better. Well, but I do think when it comes to what the person can get out of it, we do just have to think a bit further. Like, okay, it is about getting in shape, for example. It is about a product like some protein shake, whatever. Or some, let's actually use some fat shredding shake bullshit. Yeah, okay, the person wants to get shredded, okay, and into good shape. But the question now is, why does this person want to get in good shape? And of course, might be like for the girls, might be for better health conditioning or better health condition, might be due to just whatever. But I think this is a crucial point because, you could also just put it into your letter, like, okay, you really want to get those girls, you really want to get healthy. So yeah, let's let's lose weight. Yeah, good that I can talk. Fourth, compel him to take whatever action is needed to get whatever it is you're selling. And you're basically not selling the product, but you're selling like a feeling, you're selling like the experience, you're selling like getting the dream girl you want to have through your product and through just getting shredded. So you have to sell that. Quite. Yep. And above all, tell him to do all this right now, today. Tell him what he will get if he hurries, and tell him what he will lose if he delays. For example, a better price, 50% off if you just buy it in the next 3 seconds or some shit. Now here are a few other tips on how to write good copy, or as a matter of fact, good anything. Use simple common everyday words. Use get instead of procure. Write short sentences and short paragraphs. Use transition words and phrases to make your writing flow smoothly. Do you notice how I use transition words and phrases such as the following? Yeah, there's nothing in the following just because it is a summary and not the whole book. Here's a little something. You can make your copy easier to read by the judicious use of parentheses. For example, if you want to tell people that your offer is good anywhere in the US except Alaska, the proper use of parentheses, as I just did, makes the copy easier to read, easier to understand, and provides a little eye relief for your reader. Once again, for example, if you wanted to tell people that your offer is good anywhere in the US, and then in brackets, or I don't know what it is called anyway, except Alaska, the proper use of parentheses, as I just did, makes the copy easy to read, easy to understand. Is it about the except Alaska? Like, okay, let's just do it simple in brackets, except Alaska. You can get it anywhere in the US, except Alaska. Anyway, he's absolutely right about reducing options, which is different from packages and back-end products. Ideally, you want to offer first-time buyers 3 price options. It's going to be the cheap one, it's going to be the really high luxurious one, it's going to be the in the middle. Why are we doing this? And this is something that I've learned wherever, I don't actually know. People are probably going to go for the middle option, The cheap one is pretty shitty. The expensive or most expensive one is actually pretty cool, but it is so expensive. So let's go for the just in the middle thing. Whereas if you would just only have 2 options, well, you could actually go for the medium or the bad one and the good one. But yeah, it's like maybe it's then too expensive in terms of, okay, your competition, in terms of the product itself, in terms of the people that you're selling it to, and so on and so on and so on. Which I, by the way, think that Apple is doing, like with the Mini, then you're having the Pro, and then you're having the Pro Max. Anyway. The cheap option, which has what you need, the deluxe or mid-priced option, which with some bells and whistles, and the supreme package with prestige service. The cheaper option, which has what you need, the deluxe or mid-priced option with some bells and it's once again. But I just thought, well, what if you have 2 options, like the mid-tier thing and the high-tier thing, or the best and whatnot? Probably people are gonna go for the cheaper one, so the middle one. But maybe, and chances are actually pretty good that they're going to go for the most expensive one, just because they want to have the best and they want to have the whatever. So what is the benefit of having 3 options? And, as I'm thinking about, well, it might be due to people feeling like they are in control. They can just take the cheapest one, they can take the mid-tier one, they can take the most expensive one. So they might feel rather in control and good about themselves just because they have the option. Whereas if you're just only having 2 options, it is a bit too less. It might be due to that. Or it might actually be about the industry. I don't know. I think these thoughts and these advices, they are good in general, but it always is going to come up to which industry you're in and whom you're selling your stuff to. Of course, Apple is not going to have a cheapo thing. The iPhone 12 mini is still going to be relatively expensive because it is Apple, because it is a luxurious company, because they have a name and a brand and something to stand for, basically. Even though I do have to say that in terms of pricing, they have really gone better. They have really gone, quote unquote, cheaper. The cheap option, which has interviews decide in the first 40 seconds, and I further believe that we unconsciously spend the rest of our so-called decision-making time not really making a decision after all, but instead searching for justification for the decision we already made. Which, by the way, is also something that I nearly every day I think about that. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? And I probably made the decision to do that just way before, subconsciously. And yeah, I don't know, in the end it's like, well, I'm gonna do whatever. The point is going that little extra mile to add professionalism goes a long way in every aspect of marketing, and the line keeps moving. Just stay one step ahead. Please remember this word, HALT. HALT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, and tired, and you should never make a decision when you are any of these things, which I think been talking about like 2 days ago or something. Yeah. And blah 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 blah. Oh, you're any of those things. What should you do? What I did. Write, run, walk, talk, jog, etc. What is that mistake? The mistake is finding or developing a product first and then looking for a market to sell it to. This is back as words. Well, you must always find a market first and or a person to sell something to, and then concentrate on a product, which, by the way, in terms of the podcast, I basically did not that. I basically did the wrong thing, like, okay, I'm just gonna do something and hope that somebody needs it, which doesn't make too much sense, by the way. But anyway, and now we're going to talk about believability. Believability is one of the top most important ingredients of good MO and DM promotions. One way to increase believability is to give exact details instead of most car owners write 77.6% of all car owners. I like to offer video testimonials whenever possible and will write out the main thing I want them to hear in quote directly below the video, like so. And yeah, this is actually it with the summary, and I gotta really have to take a piss quite quickly. I don't want to add too much to it. I think that I've added quite a bit anyway. I hope so. Yeah, I think it is actually a pretty good book. Talking about, well, you know, it's a good book summary, let's put it like that. I don't know anything about the book. Maybe I'm actually gonna check it out because it seems like that there's quite a lot of in it, you know, quite a lot of information, good information as well in it. But I think in the end, it always is about common sense. Like, okay, I'm using this more exact number because I'm more believable, because people then think that I have the data. If I'm then in the end having it, I hope so, because I hate lying, and well, liars, not really, but I don't lie. I don't like it. And I also don't want to lie just to sell something, you know. I do also have to say that, okay, your marketing could be very great and whatnot, but if your product per se and or the service that you're having is shit, then yeah, you know, then it's still shit. And people are gonna notice that afterwards. And in these ages and or days of everybody being able to give a review and I don't know, rate something, they are gonna rate it pretty poorly. And we don't want to have that, because if this is rated very poorly, then people are probably not gonna buy it. So yeah, also think about that. I think the product per se is probably at least as important as the marketing aspect. Even though I would really like companies to focus more on the product than the marketing, so that, I don't know, having good product is fucking amazing, and word of mouth still counts quite a lot, I would say. But yeah, pretty good episode. I'm pretty happy with it and how it turned out. So I wish you the best health, happiness, and also success, and also hope that you're gonna remind yourself and you're gonna be remembered, which basically means your legacy, and basically means just being a nice person and then being remembered as a nice person, which is a pretty fucking cool thing as well. 3 other questions that I have you are: why are you here? What are you trying to change? And what is bothering you the most? These 3 questions are hopefully gonna show you your purpose, maybe even a business idea, which is a fucking cool thing. One last idea, yeah. One last idea that I have for you is, what could you essentially say to another person that is indeed going to change their life? Because I totally believe that we all can say something, and we all can communicate something that's indeed going to change somebody's life, which is amazing if you think about that. And with that being said, I'm hopefully going to see you the next time. So bye bye.